Get what you get and you don't get upset. I am Jess.
Stop yelling.
Nailed it.
That's what we do.
I'm Jess. I have a lot of businesses and a lot of kids and a lot of things to say. And I got nagged profusely on my TikTok last year to talk more about business, and I didn't want to. So I'm making these wanky YouTubes, and I ran out of time and energy to plan anything. So I wrote these two in and compiled, actually I have my team compile, some questions that we see all the time in small business groups and forums and stuff like that. So we're gonna answer them.
Great. Well, I've just been appointed as the adjudicator / question asker, so
But we should, why are you so
Who are you?
awkward? I was gonna say you should probably do some form of Priya owns an incredible business because birthday cards are so important. They're really crucial to the gift giving process.
Yes, so I am Priya, I'm one half, and why am I really serious?
It's just as soon as you put a camera, you're like,
No, Priya's good on camera.
yeah.
Okay, I just gotta be myself.
I know. We have to envision we're talking to somebody. Her name is Edna. Hello, Edna.
Hello. Okay, I'm Priya. I'm one half of Bad on Paper. We're a greeting cards company based in Brisbane, and we're in 250 stockists. We hate cringy greeting cards. We love everything fun, bright, on trend, colourful. We swear a bit on them as well, which is always fun. A bit naughty. And I also work at Superdream as a PR and content manager, and this is my boss, Kirsty.
Hey, I'm Kirsty. I'm the owner and managing director of Superdream. So we're a full service marketing agency based in Brisbane, and we're all about attention-seeking marketing that gets people. No, I haven't actually worked on that yet.
I love it. Attention-seeking marketing. The
Yeah,
end.
The end.
The
What
end.
she said.
Nailed it.
That's what we do.
Love it. All right. Keep it moving. Question number one. Drum roll.
Question number one. Okay, you both are business owners, and you both own service-based businesses, predominantly in marketing. So how do you get clients?
It's a good question. I think it's changed. So my agency turned 10 this year. How old's yours?
It would be 10 in January.
About the same, yeah. It's definitely changed. I think it's different getting the first few. The first few
is easy.
Yeah, you genuinely start your business because you have an opportunity or a scope. They're not always, but the first few kind of just happened, and if you work really hard and you're good at what you do, they flow. But I think it's more a challenge as you scale, and for us it was about our product moved. We didn't want to work with the momentum we had anymore, not because we're ruthless and mean, but we needed a new era, and that was really hard. And it's something I learned a lot from Kirsty on how to do. And I think it's really easy to neglect your own marketing, particularly when you do start with that bit of momentum and what your new client strategy is. But what it came down to for us is what I call allies. And allies are not your network, but they're not friends, but they're people who mention your name in rooms you shouldn't be in. So every time my business has grown, yeah, thanks, this is going well. So every time I've ended up signing deals that have changed my business and my bottom line, it's because somebody put me in that room or conversation. And I think people approach networking wrong in that sense, and they try to make friends or do business, but you're actually creating people who will mention your name.
So can I ask a question? So was it easier to get new clients because you had that foundation of maybe you were working somewhere before, or you were working with like a small pool before at a freelance level, and then they believed in you and your work so much that they were like, hell yeah, I'll jump across to whatever you're starting. Is that how you found it easy? Like maybe that comes to you?
I think it was initially. I think what you find, the challenge when you first start is that you don't have any testimonials, you don't have any case studies. They're all the kind of any brands on your website that people think, oh, they trust you, I'll go to them. But you do have this network of people that you've worked with before who might be really keen to come and experiment, I suppose, with a new business. And then you kind of hit another sort of roadblock when you've run out of those contacts and people that you can call on, past clients, past, network, whoever. And then you're having to go out to a whole new audience of people that you've never met before and trying to find the right contacts, trying to find the right decision makers, all that kind of stuff can be really, really challenging. And my biggest recommendation is don't put all your eggs in one basket in terms of focusing on just one industry, focusing on just one service, focusing on just one tactic to get their attention. Like being as you know, not scattergun, but applying multiple strategies to see what works and then implementing, you know, the best performing strategies based on the audience.
Yeah, I think people put too much on referrals and expect too much from referrals, and they're not always going to happen when you need them.
No.
And they're not always going to be the right referral. And I also, something we've been talking a lot about though, is being agile to where the work is while staying true to who you are and what you do really well. Because I see a lot of, in the marketing space, a lot of people are dying in this world of AI because they are hard and fast sticking to what it is they want to do and not paying attention to how people actually need them now. So anyway, soapbox off.
I find it interesting because you're in the service-based industry, but I'm in the product-based industry, and mine is almost the opposite.
Yeah.
We found it really, really hard at the start to get those yeses, get into stockists, get into stores, because people didn't know us yet. They didn't trust the product. We weren't in any other stores, so that equity wasn't rubbing off on.
There was no FOMO.
No one knew about us. It was also like a bit of a risky product as well, because it wasn't like cute and like a normal greeting card. It was like risky with the word and the language. And so we found it really, really hard at the start. We got lots of no's, but as soon as we started building up a bit more of a profile on social media, people bought into my business partner and I, and then they kind of saw who we were as people, bought into that, and then more and more stockers started to come on board.
Momentum.
And then those stockers started posting about us, and then so other stores who would be following that store would then go, oh, that's a cool new brand, I'm going to reach out to that on paper. So it was like really hard at the start, and now we just have new inquiries all the time.
I say that all the time because then we swap, like where it's really hard for us to scale past ourselves is like the be all and end all and the crux of every service-based business, whereas your businesses are built to scale, you know.
Yes.
I don't want to use the word easy, but I don't want. In terms of the button words, demo. I say that all the time. We have different challenges. We swap halfway through.
And you guys have developed a really cool personal brand story with bad on paper, should I say? That essentially means that like people are buying into like the story of you and Tara and friendship and how connected you guys can be together as well.
And that's the thing, we are us first, and then we just also happen to sell greeting cards or whatever.
But I want to clear this up because Kirsty and I recently went to the huddle and loved it. Yay, huddle. I don't know why I did that. I'm suddenly very awkward in front of the camera. But like we went to the huddle and it was great, except the notion that so many people said, and my agency focuses in e-commerce marketing, so product-based marketing, this era of you've got to put your face on everything and just get over it. If you don't want to do it or it doesn't feel like something you're personal, just get over it, just do it. And I was like, no, there's nothing worse than watching somebody who doesn't want to be on camera being on camera.
Totally.
Like it. Sit there and be on camera. But it's you have to build trust and a brand story.
Yeah.
Showing your face is one way of doing that. It's not the only way to do that. And for some brands, it's not the right way to do that because outgrowing your face, if it doesn't align with the brand strategy you should have, is a really hard thing to do. But Brittany Saunders has made every e-commerce thing going, I'm going to be like Brittany. Brittany's amazing. She's done an incredible job. But that's not right for every brand. And I just sat there groaning every time they're like, just show up. And I was like, or don't.
Yeah.
Just find another way.
You can build a brand without it being a personal brand.
Yeah, you've never been a girly to show up on stories, and in many ways, sometimes I think what I do hurts my brand too. I'm pretty real and raw, and there's definitely points as you're watching me in my dressing gown, be a terrible mother cooking dinner, where I'm sure clients go, "Why do we give her money? Like what?"
But are they? Okay, so you're following around your own personal brand is mainly on somewhere like TikTok. Do you find that your clients that will be your clients in OLS, like will they be watching those TikToks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have they given you feedback around that?
Not directly. I don't know. It could be in my head a little bit, but sometimes I think I pride myself on being vulnerable about what's hard, and it's really hard to talk about what's hard knowing that the people who trust you with a large amount of money.
I get that. And
I
sometimes
think,
the people who make your life hard.
Yeah.
Your clients.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's definitely lines that I wouldn't cross in terms of sharing that sort of stuff. But yeah, it definitely, it's something that plays on my head a lot.
I think that you're conscious of that is a good thing. Like you're conscious of not crossing the line to be like, oh, one of my clients today had the worst phone call with them. Like you're not saying that. You're like, I had a crap day. You don't go specifically, this client is busting my balls over something that, you know.
I had to make some rules for myself because I would.
Yeah.
It's just a loose cannon. And also with the kids, I had a circumstance, and I might edit this out later, but I had a circumstance last year where someone left a really racist comment on my video, and it wasn't a video about race. It was just a moment of, I can't believe people in Australia specifically say it. I definitely know people think it, and it comes up in unconscious ways, and sometimes subtle conscious ways as well, but to write it, and my kids are on social media, and people, like, you know, I go into their school and everyone's like, oh my God, you're on TikTok and sport, and I hadn't actually had a thought or conversation with myself around what it means, and even my staff, like, you know, you often see them in it a little bit, and I had to sit and go, you guys cool with that? Like, it's wild. Been working in social media for so long, I don't think I realised the impact social media has, like your business story. Like, don't underestimate it for 1 second, just because it's hard to do well. Boy, she fierce.
I think that's almost every single brand that has any kind of social following whatsoever often doesn't think about it as a two-way street. Like they think, oh, I'm going to put this content out, It's like, what content are you going to get back though? What feedback is going to come back to you as a result of that content? Are you prepared for it? What's going to happen? Like, you know, prepare for those scenarios so that, you know, your content is aligned to your values, but also so that if people come back and are like assholes, because people are, you have a way to manage that as well.
TikTok is specifically is a beast. I don't know what it is about that platform.
People think that they go rogue. And I also like employee generated content, which is what you touched on before, your team in videos and your team in videos, which I push, so I can't really blame you for that. But I think there needs to be guidelines around what is acceptable. In each business looks different. I think having a chat to your staff to see if they actually want to be on camera or feel like they want to, because that shouldn't just be a given. Like we live in a world of content, but because they're comfortable in being in front of the camera, but not everyone is. So firstly, do they want to be on it? Are they comfortable too? And then building your strategy around your services or your product, but also having some really strict guidelines on what your staff do. Just say, for example, they're filming something and then you've got like an unreleased product in the background and then they post it online. Or maybe there's something up on their computer screen.
Can you write those guidelines for me as my PR and content manager?
But stuff like that, it's like, or maybe they go rogue, or maybe they're spending they're spending time during their days editing their own content, but disguising it as work, or
we've all seen people post on the wrong channel as well, like because they've got them both set up within their phone and they posted
it yesterday.
But also, what does it look like if there's no longevity? What it looks like when there's no longevity in that staff member and you become a revolving door. Like, and not every brand should be using GC. I think you're going to get me on such a marketing soapbox. So I'll just say this and we can move on. It's the culture of following trends without actually looking at your brand and putting it through the filter of, does this serve my brand and my client? If no, don't do it, even though the rest of the world are doing it. It's so fetch right now. Like, it's awful to watch just this same content regurgitated, done half as well.
Just slap a PR lens over any business content if you're using your staff. I reckon it's
It was a good chat.
Good chat. Well, this is not about that at all. Balance.
I hate this chat. I don't hate this chat.
You wrote these questions.
Yeah, I compiled them.
What does balance look like?
Well, it's just something that I get asked a lot every time I go on a stage or I do any sort of advocacy work. It's having 6 kids and a lot of businesses. But it's also something that I see rife in groups. It's like, I've got all of these kids and all this responsibility and all this stuff. And especially in the early days of business, you are wearing all the hats and you probably don't have the funds to delegate, which is the advice most people give you. But I'm not, because it's dumb. I think that the first conversation is mental load. It's not physical load, it's mental. And I think nothing prepares you for both motherhood and business for the relentlessness of it. It's not that it's a lot all the time, it never stops. There's not a single day where you don't have a to-do list longer than the hours in the day. And you have to, I was so gung-ho and frustrated at the business conversations about mindset when I was starting my business journey, because they're really woo-woo, and I was like, you're all idiots. You start business, you're such a capable person. We got good grades, we could catch a bus and cook dinner by the time we were 12. We're not someone who needs a lot of cushioning, but then it hits you like a ton of bricks. You're tired really quickly, and it's really hard to come back, and I was forced to learn it. So I think that balance is different for everyone, and the first thing you have to do is, there's no rules. Like, my capacity for work is huge. Like, Kirsty often just is like, we'll shut the door and I don't see you. Like, I can work a lot. I like working a lot. I want to work a lot. And others can't and don't need to. And we can don't want to. And we can be equally as successful. We can achieve equally great things in different ways. I have very little capacity at the moment for parenting. Like, the least amount of parenting I have to do, hands on. Whereas you're soaking up that mum life. I don't really know much about what you do, but you know, yeah. So I think there's no rules. Like 9 to 5, you do this, and then weekends that. You have to figure out what that looks like for you, and that is the answer. Because within your list of mum duties, I can guarantee there's a butt ton of stuff you actually don't want to do, but the world has told you have to do, and that's not true. I don't go to school events. I would rather put sharp things in my eyeballs. Like, I had the proudest moment ever. My kid was 8, and I overheard him talking with one of his buddies about, I don't know what they're doing, some sort of fundraising drive. And they're like, is your mum going to help out at the store? He went, hell no. And I'm like, yes. Again, don't say help, but yes. So they know where I'm at, but at the same time, there's non-negotiables for my kids that I will not miss. And we have conversations about that. We have teamwork, etc. But I don't need to be sitting there and puring broccoli into brownies to be a good kid. You don't have to wear it to be a good mother. You don't have to wear matching socks. I don't know where the conversation of motherhood or business equated to how much time you spend to achieve those things. I don't need to be with my kids 12 hours a day to be a good mum. I can be a good mum in 2 minutes. And sometimes it's 2 minutes, sometimes it's 2 hours, sometimes it's 2 days. But it's not attached to time for me, it's attached to outcomes. And that's such a personal thing. I literally wrote a list of all the activity in my businesses and my life. And I was like, I'm going to do these things because they're important to me and aligned to my values, and the rest I'm gonna not do. And I have the blessing to do that. I don't want to say, like, not everyone can have an option sometimes.
It's not just about that. I think the majority of women in particular just find that there's just too much guilt surrounding all of that. So you feel guilt that you're not working hard enough. You feel guilt that you're not spending enough time with your kids. You feel guilt that you're not seeing your friends. And like our entire, like our entire society really is built on guilt. So that's a really, really hard thing for people to overcome. And I think one of the clearest examples of that is when you see any woman who is remotely powerful or remotely successful interviewed.
We hate her.
They're always no. We don't hate her.
We don't hate her. But Australia will.
But but the media also always ask her about balance. But they never ask men about balance.
Well, even on my TikTok, people ask me profusely or make comments about my husband, how supportive it is. I'm like, how do you know? He's not even on my TikTok. Like, how do you know he's so supportive? He could be a jackass.
I actually purely think the question of balance is inherently patriarchal. Because it's basically, I mean, I was asked in a job interview, how are you planning on having children, and how will you balance work and kids? And I was like, firstly, you don't know if I can have kids. It's not appropriate for you to ask if I'm trying to have kids. And thirdly, you would never ask a male candidate that question. So the question of balance is rarely ever asked of men, and really all it is based around guilt. So it's that question of balance is literally saying, what are you guilty of? What do you feel? What should you feel guilty of based on my perception of what a woman should be?
It's really, I could rant on about this all day, because I think I'm very quick when people go, oh my gosh, you're so amazing, love that you do that, I appreciate you very much. I'm very quick to go, yeah, but I have a full-time stay-at-home husband. And it's not to discount what I do, I am amazing. But if I was a man and I returned to work 3 months after having a baby, there is no one going, because you know his wife is at home handling his stuff, and I have somebody at home handling my stuff. Whereas the default setting is she must do the normal amount of mothering and all this stuff, and that's just not realistic. But I think like guilt's a really interesting one because people either like mum guilt's real, mum guilt's not, and I think that this notion that we should just ignore it is not necessarily true in my case. I kind of, ADHD rules are good, and the rule is if it's based on what someone else does, it's fake. If you see another mother and the way that they do things, or you see, you know, a kid that can do something, or they're going to swimming classes, or they can wear matching socks, you go, oh, I wish I was like that, or I'm not doing enough. Whereas sometimes when, you know, your kid says something and you might snap because you're a bit tired, or, you know, different circumstances where they hold on to that hug a bit longer, you do need to check yourself and go, hang on a minute, like that's an instinctual, like.
That's what I was going to say,
thing.
like a lot of mine, like juggling full-time work, a business on the side, which is like probably 20 hours a week, so plus like my normal 40 hours, and then having a child, a partner, it's like, I don't know what each week is going to look like in terms of planning it out, but what I do know is certain things need to get done, and I just am very efficient with my pockets of time, but I'm also very intuitive as well around like the mum guilt for me, I think more so comes from that feeling of that intuition where something pulls you and goes, hey, like you're feeling like you're missing, like I feel like I'm missing my daughter, and I'm like, whoa, I spent way too much time on this week. I'm like, pack this shit up, I'm going to spend time with her. It's like that pull. And as soon as I start feeling that, that's when I like reassess, get it, like take a step back and go, holy shit, you have been at like 3 events this week, you've been in the office 3 days, you've done this outside of work, like you haven't even like put her to bed. It's
My
like that
instincts
kind of
are
thing.
so
It's
real.
just like very, I don't feel the guilt, I guess I reframe it as like that intuitive pull where you go, hey, if you're missing her, she's missing you.
Yeah, I think that's a real emotionally mature way to look at it though, because I think that is the crux of the issue. People confuse intuition or what your needs as a mother. Often when they're babies, I say this to you all the time, Hamish doesn't miss you. He's one. He's eating glue at daycare, having the time of his life. You miss him though, and you're allowed to. Like go and enjoy that season. But to really expose myself, I really struggle because I just don't miss them. I know that sounds, I love my kids. Like I'm a great mum, but I don't have that intuitive pull anymore. I have no little kid left in me. Teenagers, I'm thriving in that area, but I am crawling to the finish line of toddlers and little kids. Like I just, I don't, there is nothing about me that's sad to see the babysit. Like I'm...
We've done it 6 times.
Yeah.
We've only done it 1 time.
And I'm definitely not the poster girl of what that should look like. But I also...
No, but I think can we normalise that though? Because I think not every mum is going to miss their kid, but also you know that you will be seeing them again that day, or you will be seeing them again the next day. It's like, you know that the time that you have allocated for them is coming up. So it's like, you might not miss them at work because you've probably done in your ADHD brain, you've said, you've probably compartmentalized, you've gone, okay, I'm at work for this 8 hours, and if she snaps the shit out so by the time I get home, I do have time and space for them. So you don't need to miss them here because you're in the moment here.
Yes, absolutely.
That's how
I think there's some really practical things here as well. Like we've talked about big picture, but I think learning to be productive AF is key. Like productivity is a skill, and you can get more done than you are now for sure. I think you've touched on being present. If you're at work, be at work. Don't be FaceTiming. I had a client meeting, bless her soul, but she had a kid at home sick from school who called her 14 times asking how to use this computer, and I was like, whoa, go home. Like if you're at work, be at work. If you're at a thing, be there. I think knowing that you can be a good mum in a moment. You only need a few moments to speak into their life and to love them up. It doesn't always have to be a day. And the other last thing I would say is seasons. You can have seasons of hustle and you can have seasons of slow. What now has to be isn't what forever has to be, but you just can't get stuck in either too often. Like I've just come out of a massive season of hustle. I did 17-hour days longer than I probably should have. And if I stayed there, I wouldn't exist, my business wouldn't exist, my family would fall apart. But I can do it for a few weeks because my business needed me to. But now my family need me to be slow. My business can wait a minute. Like it's just going to tick along, and I'm going to go focus on this. So you should see, like recognizing seasons and making some boundaries on when they start and stop is always a strategy I've gone to as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like we could have made 28 videos with these. We should do question a week.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about pricing services, or how are we going for time? 25 minutes.
No, do a juicier one.
Mental load. We've been talking about it.
This
Unsupportive
is a good one.
What is it?
Unsupportive family. What happens when hubby and friends do this or do that? It happens more than you think.
Yeah.
I don't know that you can overly relate. You've got a pretty good husband. I've never met yours. Sure, he's nice.
Okay, this is a personal one. My business partner and I started Bad on Paper when I was 4 months postpartum because I needed something to do because like you,
Motherhood's great but boring.
Motherhood's great, but oh my god, I also need to use my brain about something that's not at home. I'm just saying that I needed something outside of the home because I am a very creative person. I spent 10 years in the media industry where a lot of my, I guess, self-worth, happiness, and I don't know, I just was really happy in my industry and like gave me a lot of fulfillment. And so when I was...
You mean motherhood wasn't enough to fulfill you?
No.
You horrible human,
I know, horrible. Call Child Protective Services.
Literally.
But I wasn't getting that part of me fulfilled. I was obviously fully loved up and happy with my baby. But then we started Bad on Paper, like just randomly I started learning all of these new things, new skills. That was great. But then at the time my partner was like, but babe, like, shouldn't you just be focusing on Lucy? I was like, ¿Por qué las dos? Because while she's asleep, I can learn how to do Photoshop. And then he'd be like, okay, but also just like be like around, like be present in the house. Like, and I'm like, but keeping a home does not fulfill me at all. I would rather outsource.
Yes.
Keeping a home for him, he loves that shit. Like he prides himself on like mowing the lawns, doing the dishes, like making sure all the washing's done. Like that to him is like
achievements.
Achievements. I love my family. I'm doing this, this, and this. But achievements for me is like I love my family. I want us to have financial freedom in the future and the freedom of me not to work 9 to 5. So I'm going to like push myself with this side hustle to make it something so that we can have that. And like what our drivers were different.
Yeah.
And it took us a really long time to understand each other.
Yeah.
So it came down to like a lot of communication, miscommunication, horribleness, beautiful life. Well, till we finally got to this thing where it's like, okay, I can give you what you need by ticking a few boxes around the house. And then he can give me what I need, which is like freedom and space.
Yes.
But we're both equally there for our daughter and family. But it's like he gets gratification doing homey stuff, and that's his personality. Like no one's wrong.
Thank you so much for sharing, because I think it's a really important
Yeah.
thing. Like we went through a really similar journey. My husband's also from Africa, and there's layers of cultural diversity too. But he was my biggest hype boy. Doesn't have the same ring. Initially, like he'd been saying to me for years, you should be an entrepreneur, like you make other people way too much money. And I had the notion that like you have to have a new idea or do something really differently, and he makes me eat those words a lot. But it's also like what we've just spoken about mother's guilt and our primitive instincts and how it feels when we carry this burden. Sometimes it can be as equally as it fulfills us. Is I think there also has to be a bit of grace for them, and their social bias is probably worse in terms of you must protect and provide and what their masculinity looks like. Because when you challenge them in, well, this is sticky, but how much you earn, if you out earn your partner, I see a lot of entrepreneurs that come to our women in business events that really struggle to date as successful entrepreneurs. Men are just like, what do I bring? To the table. So I think partners is it's hard, and I don't think it's a case of they're bad. Like I think we're dewiring a lot of stuff here, and it comes down to understanding fundamentally what we wanted was the same, just how we were going to get there might look different in every aspect.
That's the thing. It's like my partner always says to me, it's like we talk about what we love about each other and then what we find out about each other that's annoying. And it's like one of the things he loves about me is like I'm so motivated, driven, always on to the next thing, always like wanting a better life for us, a bigger life, something more. But it's also the things he finds really annoying because it's like I always want something better. But it's like it's not in the sense of like I want something better as in a new partner or a new family or whatever. It's just like I'm always yearning to learn more or do more or something more.
It's just about releasing it. It doesn't have to be 50-50. And I love how Michelle Obama talks a lot about this. It's just like there's times where it's 20-30 or where this area is 40-60. Like it's this, like if I was to measure people based on my capacity, like my husband is, we call him Hakuna Matata. Like he's so laid back, he's dead. Like he is just the chillest human and I'm the opposite. Like I'm so intense in every aspect. And so if I expected him to keep up with me, it's not fair, and vice versa. But one of my favourite quotes in the world is your greatest quality, if left unchecked, will be your biggest flaw. And that's really similar. It's the thing that makes you great. You do have to check and go, where's the measuring stick for this?
That's the line. It's like, okay, have I completely outdone myself this week in terms of work? Like, fuck yeah, but then what does that mean? I've spent so much time on the computer, I've neglected my partner, like haven't spoken to him, he feels like alone. It's like
I said this thing once on a podcast interview that I made up and I've never been able to remember it again till now. Because someone asked me, how do you have it all? And it's like, well, you don't have it all, but you can decide what portion of it you want. I think it's where you try to have the portion that you think you want or what your husband says you want or what your parents told you should have. It's like all is about assessing what it is to you. And Brene Brown is amazing at this, values testing. Go and do it if you haven't. But it's about that. But I think the other side of this is extended friends and family. Like husbands is, everyone's going to have a unique thing, but nothing warrants more advice than having babies or businesses. And I've had a lot of both. And it's like the second you say you're pregnant or you've got a business, it's like, oh, my great granddad's neighbour just had kittens, you should eat honey. It's like, you know, you just get this advice. And the simple answers are tell them to shut up, smile and nod. But I think tall poppy syndrome is 100% real. The second you show any signs of achievement or success, people will hate you for it. And it's always surprising who those people end up being sometimes.
Who hates you?
No one.
Literally no one would.
I don't think it's a obvious hate. I don't think that tall poppy syndrome is obvious unless you put your life on TikTok at times. But there's definitely, for me, there was a lot of subtle changes in relationships.
I would say, you know, it's obviously great to have a supportive partner, but I think the thing that I get the most stimulation from and the most support out of and the most most learnings from and all that sort of stuff is all the women that I surround myself with who are in a similar situation in terms of their business and are able to kind of, you know, even just validate your feelings of how hard is this, you know. And a lot of the time, I'll debrief to my husband about different things that are going on in the business, but you know, there's only so much he can provide in terms of feedback and context and, you know, advice, because he's not an entrepreneur, he's not a business owner, like he works full time for someone else, so he can only, you know, really speak into that so much. So I'm very conscious of like who I ask that advice of, and make sure that it's someone that, like, the information that they give back.
You've always been really good at that. And I think that's a strategy we talk a lot about events, that you need to find your 5 people and you tell them your biggest flaws, your biggest fears, your heart, your goals, and you ask them to call you on your own crap when you're having scary moments. Because I think that question is particularly in relevance to newer business owners who go and tell their friend and their friend goes, don't do that. Like, I know someone who once did that. And it's a real realization. I know this sounds really simple, but we're not wired the same. Like, what's the job you can't imagine doing? Like, for me, being an accountant, would rather potato peel my eyeballs. But someone is wired to love that. That's how they're made. Whether it's God, Jesus, Purple Penguin, whoever you believe in, like, we are made to fulfill whatever it is that brings us joy. And so if you've got a big vision, I call them big lifers, you want a big life, the percentage of people who are going to understand you're so flippin' small. And if you go and ask someone who doesn't share that vision or doesn't share that want or drive, like, everyone tells me all the time, you should be so happy. And I'm like, on paper, yeah, I've got a great life. I've got great friends, 6 healthy, beautiful kids, a doting husband, you know, finances to be comfortable. On paper, awesome. Internally, screaming. And like, it's annoying. I wish that my values were family. I'd be set.
Yeah.
If I was the type of person who gets their cup filled from family, I'd be flowing. You know?
I completely can understand.
Yeah. And it feels a really selfish thing to talk about, but that's what happens. But I can say that to you, and you're like, I hear you. Yeah, in your soul.
Yeah.
And
say that to someone at school pickup.
Or like, not to say that their job is not as important. I don't believe that. Hear that in your soul. Women who are fulfilled by raising their family, you are brilliant, and the world is a better place for you. That is not what this is about. But I stand the 3 times a year I go to school, and I'm like hearing how stressful their day is because they had to get 3 loads of laundry on the line around that time, and I'm like,
and that's the thing, my partner is completely fulfilled with that. And I'm like, great. And we are in our heterosexual relationship, like debunking the
Gender norms.
Yeah, the gender norms, because it's like, he loves that stuff. Whereas I will do it because I'm like, I have to. I don't do it because I'm like, I love keeping a home. I do it because I'm like, this has to be done, and it's like, just check the box. But like, spending quality time with them, I love. Spending time at my home cleaning,
no,
I don't.
Just for the sake of keeping a home, I don't love.
Absolutely not.
It's like
I've talked to you about this before, but like, we really, in our relationship, I mean, we've been together a very, very long time. We've been together since high school, which is crazy. And so to consider, like, a 17-year-old me chose the father of my child, the person who would support me in business ownership, my future husband at 17, mental. It has worked out miraculously. But one of the things we really had to iron out was division of labour. And because we would have, like, you'd fight over domestic stuff all the time, like, it's just, and it would annoy the shit out of me and annoy the shit out of him when things weren't done or whatever. And our biggest thing was like, okay, let's write a list. And we do this fairly regularly to like change up the list again, because, more things get added, and when you have kids, it makes it even more complicated, and the mental load gets longer and longer. But working out, okay, these are your jobs, these are my jobs, and I'm never going to nag you about your jobs, and you're never going to nag me about my jobs, and if your jobs go unfinished, I'm not going to do them for you. It's just not going to get done. And that is it. And like, honestly, like, there are times where I'm like, oh wow, the bin's overflowing. Oh well, we have maggots. Okay, that's his job. I am literally like, I'm not going to touch that.
I wish I could say I was that girl, but no, I'd be Karening up. I was like, look at what you've done!
No,
see this big problem!
Can't do it, because then there'll be times when there's things that I don't do and that are on my list. However, I have managed in the past couple of years to outsource the majority of the things on my list, and he hasn't noticed yet. So that's been great. We've got a cleaner now. We've got a few things that I'm just like, looks like I don't have anything to do.
But you've taken care of that.
It just has to get
that
done.
in my mind makes sense.
Why do you think I had so many kids? Each of them have a job. Well, I think I just want to bring it back to anyone who's at a point where they don't have the options of outsourcing, though. Or where if you're in a season where you have to, where you have to be a stay-at-home mum, or you have to work, because I think we are blessed to have those choices, and we've built our businesses and careers to a point where money gives you options. And I just think back to the 20-year-old who had these 2 babies and worked 60-hour weeks for my 45 grand a year, and I didn't have options. The hopelessness that I felt. And I started my life very much thinking I was going to be a trad wife. I thought that's what would make me happy. My mum was a trad wife, a terrible one, but she was. And that's all I knew, and that's what I thought would make me happy. And my husband got the short end of the stick, because I turned into a fierce feminist, like, pretty quickly. And so I just want to kind of bring it back to it's easier when you have money to outsource. It's easier when you have the option to stay home or work. Some people don't. You have to do either or, and you're strong and amazing, and it's a season. But I think the convo we're trying to have is, you get to write the rules. It doesn't have to be one way just because you have a vagina, and you don't realise how much is left unsaid in that space until you start having a really intentional lens with it. But it's turned into a very much a marriage chat. But I think there's a bigger chat about friends and people in general, and they're just not your people. Be more intentional. Find your people.
People who start using words like, Tara and I get asked this quite a bit, and all we did in our early stage was, how's your little card business going? So I started just
Punch.
I would just like
Literally.
Kirsty and I have this thing where we just say, I've turned the light off on that person, like mentally. Like I'm like, okay, bye.
They're in a dark room now, and
They're
we
just
no
like in a
longer
dark
think of
room
them.
in the back of my brain, and I don't think about,
Yeah.
and I don't spend any time with them. So
You just have to completely detach it from your self-worth.
yeah,
It's genuinely about them and not about you.
Mhm.
well, it's like I don't know why you feel why they feel the need to belittle that or minimize success, but that's on them. And I find it so funny when people like from our past comment like that, or they say, "Oh, I'm watching what you guys are doing. Like it's amazing." I'm like, "Cool. Well, how many cards have you bought?"
Yeah.
None. Okay.
Yeah.
But
I
I
know
don't
I can check that. Let me just
Yeah.
look
I
in the
don't
back
expect
end.
like family and friends to ever buy the stuff. But if they're making a point to go, I'm watching all of your content, I'm doing this, this, and this. I know exactly what you're up to.
Mm.
I love your product,
I feel like
but I still haven't bought anything from you. I'm like, that's so weird.
I'm offended. I think, like, especially when you're like a product-based business, when people expect all your stuff for free. Like, and especially family and friends, they should be supporting you the most. They should be the ones buying all your cards. Like, even when you first started working here, I was like, I'm making an order, and I made like a big order because I was like, also since then we've definitely had birthdays around the office, and Priya always brings in cards. But I'm very much like, I'm never going to ask you to bring that for free.
But I think it's just a genuine, I mean, people are idiots, but it's a genuine lack of understanding of what it takes to run a business. Like, I don't think, I still try to pay this one for life coaching because I get so much of her time and I know it's valuable. I'm like, just let me, you're absolutely not. I'll tag you. But I can remember early on in my career asking for coffees, and, I still encourage people to ask for coffees because even if they say no, and I'm the type of person that in the right circumstance, I get as much out of that coffee as you would. But it was a genuine naivety that your time is your biggest commodity and how important it was. Like, I didn't, it wasn't meant from a disrespectful, I mean, I would never ask for a free product, but I think people just have no idea.
Yeah, can I just pick your brain? Pick your brain?
You mean the brain I've spent 10 years of blood, sweat and tears developing into something that I can sell as a product?
Exactly.
No,
Can I just say, like, I don't expect people to, if people are out in network, if they haven't bought from us, whatever, that's fine. But it's more about the language of like, how's your little business? Or like, I'm watching everything you're doing. It's like, okay, great. If you can't afford to buy cards, maybe cards are stationery, like, isn't your vibe, or maybe it's not in your life. Like, chuck us a like, chuck us a comment, chuck us like anything, like
or
intangible,
even like
say, or like you change up your language, or send us a message, or like talk about us in a room when we're not there. Like,
brings it all the way back to the start, talking about those allies. Be an ally.
It's like be an ally. Don't belittle it in your language. Don't. It's just like I don't expect the exchange of card and money. It's like not that. It's just be an ally. Do something intangible.
But I would say I'm a great example of that.
Bitch, you just bought someone else.
I don't buy cards.
I don't want you to, but you're doing this.
But I have championed her business probably more than most people, even before I knew you.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. I love who you are. I can see the authenticity and the genuine value in what you're creating. But I probably will never buy some cheap. That's all it comes down to.
You don't use cards.
I just don't use cards. They're just not part of. We do for birthdays. Anyway,
no.
But
But also, my brand is also sweary, in your face, blah blah blah.
It's not for everyone.
No.
You're the colour
100%.
and you're the bold and you're the typography and the whatever, but you're not the language. So that I completely understand. So like, me and not everyone's cup of tea. However, doing what you do is in like advising to your speaking events, talking about us on socials, talking about us in a room, like using the language that's how's your business going? So how's your little card company? How's your little
your little side hustle?
But make no mistake that language is intentional. Like, I will die on the hill. I've never been more aware of this. I've done a nerdy amount of research and case studies on this, that there is a cycle. Tall poppy syndrome is huge in Australia, but when you have a vagina, it is a whole nother layer, and women in particular are awful to each other. Men, it challenges their ego. We've been copying that for years. It's going to take a long time to change. But the women to women stuff, I feel like we can get closer. And when you start dreaming big, when you show any signs of hope of something you want to do, when you are brave, people hate you for it because they can't be that, or they don't understand why you think you're better than them. That's how it's interpreted. And I'm not too proud to say there was a time in my life when I would have done that, 100%. And there's still some times that I have to check myself.
Yeah, that's again,
they're triggered.
You are cognizant of that.
Yeah.
It sleeps and bounces.
But no one wants to talk about this stuff. Like it's and I look at the cancel culture of TikTok, but then it will always go full circle. When you've done it in people's eyes, then they come crawling out the woodwork. And not to say that I've done anything, but my TikTok journey has been precisely that, and my business journey has been precisely that. When I started, particularly the Bell Evolution, these networking events, there was a community of smaller business owners that were very incestuous. They went to all the events, they do it all the things, and many of them are beautiful. It's not about them. But the second I thought outside of them, the second I went, I want more than this. I want more than just you. I want to go find the millionaires. Like, let's do this. Let's go and think. They hated me. They actively tried to tear me down, to destroy the events, to talk about me, to do bad things, etc. And off I went, and I went and found the millionaires, and I kept doing my events, and I'm a little bit TikTok famous, and watched them scurry back. And it's so clear. And it's clear because it happened to the Kardashians. That's how I knew about it. But when they started filming, they stopped getting invited to everything. How dare you think you can do this? And then it was a hit, and all of a sudden they're on everyone's lists and things. Like, there is a pattern of behaviour that happens. So if you're dreaming big and you're met with, oh, how's your little business? Like, people think I'm in MLM when I say you're a business owner. People just back away slowly. They, or, oh, she's the social media girl. Multi-million-dollar agency, but sure. Those sorts of things. They are annoyed that you're able to dream bigger than them, because in their head, you're better than them when you do that.
Yeah, and I think, like, Tara and I have this, we always message each other, like, we go, oh, hey, I'm watching so-and-so's content, and it's making me feel like a little bit jealous, or like a little bit like I want that. And then we go, okay, so let's unpack that. Why are we feeling jealous? And then we like go through it, and we're aware of why we're feeling jealous. And then we go, you know what? Actually, good for her, babe. Now that I've unpacked my own insecurity, let's fucking comment on her shit, buy her stuff. Like, now that that's done,
I went through
let's be like normal now.
I promised myself for a whole year, every time I was triggered by somebody, I would message them and tell them. And that was confronting. Yeah. But the amount of replies back that I get, oh my God, I want to talk to you for ages. Can we go for it? I was like, this person triggers me and I trigger them. Like, we've just been sitting here being triggered by each other this whole time when we could have been besties. Like, how annoying is that? And I just want to say, like, I've had a really rough start to the year, and I have had... Oh, let's unpack that in the next episode. But I've had, at this point, hundreds since my return to TikTok of people tell me what my content means to them and does for them. And the power in it's so huge. And having hype girls like you guys that are just constantly reinforcing that you're good. And so if you're someone who, is triggered, like, the most powerful thing you can do for yourself and others is go, hey, you trigger me.
Yes.
I'm good at that.
Absolutely.
But I think you're awesome, and I wish I was more like you. Don't get me wrong, people do also trigger me because they're idiots, and I don't tell them they're idiots, but you learn to discern which trigger you should be addressing in yourself.
People might not be as confident as you or ballsy to, like, message that person, but even just, like, writing a note on your phone as to why you think that you feel jealous, or why that person's triggering you, or, like, saying it out loud. Sometimes even just saying it out loud just, like, addresses the little scary in the room, and then you're like, oh yeah, okay, I am jealous because she has just started a business and she's in 15 stores. We've been doing this for 4 years, and
she figured out faster than she can wear that and I can't. Her husband loves her more than mine loves me. The list is endless.
To say it out loud, you're like, oh, okay,
that's dumb.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
We're on a different race. In a different race. It's a different product. She's doing great. Good on her that she has fucking found the shortcut to that. Like, amazing.
Yes.
Just saying it out loud is...
What can I learn from her?
What can I learn?
Yeah. Amen. All right, one more. Give us the juiciest one on the list.
Oh, no, that's all the juicy ones.
What's that?
Oh, networking and mentors. That's probably a good segue to finish up on. Networking, how, why, and when, and how do you get mentors? Networking is hard because most of the networking events are crap.
So bad.
Now we've terrified you because women are awful to each other. And
I just find, like, at all the networking events I used to go to, everyone just spouting off about how good their business is and how successful they are, and no one being actually honest about anything. And you would fall into the same trap, because if someone walks up to you and goes, hi, I've just hired and I've got, just brought on this multi-million-dollar client, and, I'm about to scale my company to this and, open an office in Sydney and whatever, then you're like, oh, well, I've done this and this and this and this, and my business is going great too. And then you just stand there and stare at each other, and that's it.
Yeah.
Or it's like, sales. I want to work with you, and you should just take my business card because we just shook hands, and that's literally the extent of our relationship.
Well, the other one I see a lot in the women's circle is we have to be friends or get pretty together. Like, I don't need a hair straightening bar or to be pretty to talk about smart things, and I definitely don't need to paint a picture with you. Why does everyone want to paint together? Like, I want to talk about business. I don't want to paint and sip. It's like, I don't need friends. I have friends, but they're obviously not able to speak into my business journey if I'm out looking for people.
Yes.
I'm not looking for business. I'm looking for connection with like-minded thinkers. So thinking of those levels of thinking. Some people want to go to work every day. They want to do a good job, come home, but their cup is fulfilled by home and life. It's not fulfilled by work. There's people who are fulfilled by work. They come to work every day, they do a fantastic job. They want to be the best. They want the A. They want to grow, but they're good in that accomplishment. And then there's big lifers. We've got big ass things to do. And so the first thing is figure out where you fit and figure out what group you're going to. Because if you're this and you go to this, you're going to hate everyone. If you're this and you go to this, you're going to hate everyone. So you've got to figure out what you're looking for. And I always find go with questions that are going to cut through the bull crap. So at our events, we say, what's your biggest win? What's the biggest thing you're finding hard at the moment? And get past the small talk. Everyone thinks networking is about talking, but listening is a massive key. But the short answer is you have to do it. And when you find someone who's not a dipshit, cling on to them for dear life, and be really intentional about being a village, and therefore you'll make a village. Like, show up and champion the people that you genuinely love and want to be around. Like, I am blessed to have people that I completely idolized for years in my circle because I championed them, and therefore they felt sorry for me and championed me back. But I think people can be selfish in relationships in that, like, you've got to be a village and you will make a village around you, and you've got to put it in your diary and prioritize it when you're busy and really build those 5 people intentionally.
I would also say, just throwing back to a product-based business, if you find people in your market or your city that they might even be your competitor, but they're in the same, like for us it's greeting cards and stationery, but we always champion other Brisbane-based greeting card brands because there's room for everyone. And if you like my stuff, you're probably not going to like their stuff. But what we can do is like have a brains trust together. To be like, hey, how's the industry at the moment? Hey, you finding that like sales are really down this quarter? Are you finding that like people are buying 6 months in advance? Or how was your last trade show? Or like what's going on?
Is it worth going to?
Is it worth going? Like, because like product-based businesses and retail is super niche, as well as like service-based businesses are super niche as well. So it's like always having those kind of people that you can throw to, even if they are your competitors, is a really good thing.
We're literally the poster girls of what's possible, because I hated Kirsty. She was everything I wanted to be when I grew up, and I was so triggered by her. And luckily she's an incredible human. No, she pursued me. Like, she asked me out on our first day. I didn't want a piece of this. No, I'm joking. Well, she did ask me out on our first day. But hands down, I say this all the time, and I get equally emotional every time. Like, my life and business would not have grown without this woman. Not just because she's my competitor, she just happens to be a flippin' outstanding human being. But it is the power of competitors. We have learned in business, no one knows what you're doing. Anyone who says what you're doing is lying. There's no business book that's going to help you. Every single step is like clearing the forest,
anything you've listened to in this entire video, just
can it.
Made up.
But literally, because if it worked for them, you're just copying them. Everything in business just feels like you've got to hack down the tree in front of you and figure out a path through. And the only way you learn is by screwing shit up. So if she can screw some shit up and teach me, and I can screw some shit up and teach her, we're fast tracking each other like the rate of knots and filling each other's gaps. And if a client's not right for me, they're definitely right for her, and vice versa. And we're confident in who we are and what we do well. So I'm fine in letting a client go, knowing that they are a better fit for her and vice versa. And we have millions and millions of dollars worth to each other. And there's never a score being kept or anything like that.
I think
and the world would change.
The difference of like, you know, community over competition, I think is the thing that like is at the core. Because I remember working for like, you know, in the past working at other agencies and things where it was like frowned upon to go to a client meeting and share actual strategy and advice in a first meeting, because it's like, oh no, like, you can't tell them too much because then they won't pay for it and all this sort of stuff, and you know, we need to quote them for that information because that's your proprietary brain that you're giving away for free. And it's like, yeah, but they're not going to be your client if you're not telling them anything and they're just thinking, well, they, you know, gave me nothing. But also like, don't talk to people from other agencies and don't, you know,
the e-commerce space is shocking for that. It's like such a secret.
It's like,
where I get my stuff from.
It's something like at the trade shows. At the trade shows we go to, and this is where we talk about allies within our competitors. Is we'll have buyers from stores come up to us and they're like, "Oh, do you have any of this? Do you have any of that?" And I can read their vibe within like a few seconds. I'm like, we aren't for you. But go down to Fox and Fellow because that is super cute. And also, there are brands or stores that buy both of us because we fill two gaps on their stand. It's like we complement each other. If they want like a beautiful, nice, like lovely, tame, beautifully crafted card, great. But they also could want something in their naughty section, which is us. Or they might just want one or the other, but we're always like, go down and see them. Or have you seen like Orange Seasons? Like, just like, if you don't like us, go to them. Like, because they do exactly the same. They're like, oh,
it just comes from confidence in who you are.
But that's the thing, having a brand identity and owning your product and knowing your product, you don't need to switch lanes. Like, you're in the lane. And that's what you guys do. Like, if you
spoken like marketers. Brand identity. It's hard finding new people though. I think I won't discount that, but it definitely starts with, I think, intentionality about who people are, and then intentionality in reaching out to them, and intentionality in what you want to gain from that. I think having a conversation of like, I'm desperate for people. I had a coffee with a lady this week and it started because there was opportunity for her to hire my agency. I just went, I really want to be your friend. We have so much synergy. I'm dying to learn how you created. Do you want to be my friend? I literally sent her an email like that. And she said, absolutely. I've been following you for ages and I keep side-eyeing you. Let's have coffee. And we now have had 3 coffees and she's my bestie. And like that beautiful thing that kids do, I wish we just never lost. And women suck at it. Men do it better. You're doing something, I will learn how, Wolfpack, we're like, and if that can change and you can be kind of self-aware enough, it's a big thing. Wow, that was a deep chat.
That's a lot. I feel like that's like 7 videos at least.
That's like a lot of videos.
But who's editing those? Not me. Let us know though. We're really just trying this. I'm sure I can capture these 2 again for another chat if you have any specific questions.
We are in the same building.
They are my neighbours. So if you want to learn more, we are more than happy to share our knowledge and build community. So hang out with us. Go and follow Superdream, champion her. Go and follow Bad on Paper, champion her, and keep us posted.